Hello, I'm joined today by my guests Ella Vandenberghe and Billy Harrow from Visitor Chat. How are you doing, guys?
Hi,
Good, thanks,
David.
David. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay, and really nice to talk to you both. Talking of which, is my dad joke pun of the week now. My business, which has been a state agency for many, many years, I believe always starts with conversations. And I think that if you're the type of estate agent that doesn't like talking to people, you're in the wrong business because it's a people business at its heart, and it all starts with that initial conversation. I think what's changing in this very fast changing environment that we all live in is where those conversations happen or where they start and when they start. So in the old days, if you wanted to call me, you could do so between 9 and 5, and then you wouldn't dream of calling me afterwards and out of hours. Whereas customer service has kind of tipped on its head. And just to give everybody an idea of this, 53% of property related inquiries occur outside of normal working hours. So, as an estate agent, if you're looking to do business with people and you're not answering those inquiries coming in out of normal working hours, you're not going to be doing very well at all. So, because of that, we now rely on partners to help us manage that because I am entitled to do a really good job during the day and have a bit of family time and manage to relax in the meantime. We're all entitled to a life, but how do we do that? And the way that we do that is by working with people that can reliably look after those conversations and at least start those conversations for us when we perhaps can't get to it. And that is the wonderful introduction to Visitor Chat. So, guys, for people who have not are not familiar with Visitor Chat or what you specialize in, give us an overview of what you do.
Yeah, thanks, David. And you're absolutely right. Look, we live in a world of convenience now, don't we? And as you said there, that stat of 53% of property inquiries, they happen outside of normal business hours, outside of that 9 to 5, when, a lot of agents, they might work a bit of overtime, but they're not always going to be sat at a desktop able to respond to people. So, yeah, that's kind of where Visitor Chat, helps agencies. So Visitor Chat is a leading messaging partner across the UK. We work with about 2,500 businesses to provide a suite of really powerful tools that enables them to centralize digital inbound and outbound communications under one partner. So we've got three core products that we offer. Number one being live chat. We've got 24/7 fully managed live chat, which is always led as a human experience. So it's always managed by real people, which is designed to help agencies, convert more of their website traffic into opportunities for their internal team, and guide customers towards an action at the point where they are most interested. So that's live chat. We've also got VCast, which is a really, really good outbound messaging tool. So it allows agents to broadcast personalized messages out, messaging campaigns, I should
Yeah.
say, via SMS or WhatsApp to, it could be 20 customers, it could be 20,000 customers. And we can pretty much support any type of campaign as to what they're looking to do. But it's being able to initiate contact with targeted audiences to drive more leads and increase visibility. The difference with Visitor Chat in the respect of the outbound messaging is it's two-way communication. So if you send out a message to 20,000 customers, those customers can actually respond to that message. And when they do respond, our team are available 24/7 to qualify those customers,
Yeah.
convert that lead and send it straight back into the agent. So you've got a full kind of 360 messaging platform. And the last product that we offer is called VConnect. Now, VConnect or through VConnect, what we do is we support agencies with proactive outbound phone outreach. So we've got a team of agents. They're all UK based. A lot of them have, industry experience. That might be someone that Savills or Connells might hire to actually have within the agency.
Yeah.
One of those people. And what we do is, again, supporting any type of campaign, whether it's lost valuations, it could be, offers, it could be, mortgage offers, it could be absolutely anything. But it takes away that kind of time intensive, resource heavy task of phone outreach that a lot of agents don't have the time to do.
We wish we could do. We
Yeah,
wish all the other phones and all the other stuff would
That's it.
stop to allow us to do it. Yeah.
So using three products together, it allows, like I said at the start, it allows businesses to really centralize their communications in one place. So it becomes really, really effective, tool to use.
So there's a lot to unpack there in what you've already said. So we'll start with it. I'm going to start right at the top, and this is a bit controversial. So off camera, Ella asked me how many of these I do a week. And I'm not going to bore you all with the response, but as you all know, we talk to a lot of suppliers and talk to a lot of estate agents about what they're doing well, and who's helping who. And invariably at the moment, we talk to a lot of suppliers who are talking about communication or helping agents to communicate, but a lot of the focus tends to be on AI. And whilst I'm not knocking AI for the utilities that it provides, as a business owner, there is a certain sense of unease sometimes where we say, look, if my skill is, you ask my kids what daddy does for a living, you'll get responses anywhere from daddy takes sells photos of houses, which is not entirely incorrect, to daddy talks a lot on the phone about houses. And the truth is there's an intersection of those things. But if I think my key skill set as an agent is the conversations that I have, how ready am I in reality to hand over that kind of the keys to my car, if you like, to an AI engine and just say, hey, drive it whilst I'm not here, do your worst. And I think the truth of it is that we all would like to know that it's backed by humans, and we'd like to feel that we're not generally replaceable by robots. So can I ask you to just, perhaps Billy, that's a curveball that I'm going to throw you, but
that's
really,
fine.
the USP of you guys being human led, first and foremost, I think is a really strong one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, my background is I've run offices on the south of England for the last 23 years. And I came out of a state agency just due to the amount of work, the amount of stress, the amount of everything. If I'd have known this had existed when I was running my offices, my life would be so much easier. My bank balance would be so much
He'd
higher.
have no grey in his
I'd have, yeah,
beard.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday, and I had a dark beard yesterday, and now today I've woken up with loads of grey.
Congratulations, you're
Thank
older
you.
and wiser.
But yeah, I think for me personally, letting go when I was running an office and allowing it to be anyone outside of my team, gosh, that's a really, really difficult move. And to then maybe move that on to like the AI side of things, it's a big, big step. I'm from the age of agency where everything was pen and paper and applicants registered on an applicant card. Um, but it was one of the big reasons why I joined Visitor Chat because it just is such a great tool for agents capturing potential vendors, potential landlords, capturing vendors even 6 months, a year before they're thinking of moving.
Yeah,
I know, and if you with an estate agency background, our life and soul is instructions.
it is. It is. It's
Yep.
the only thing we care about,
It's the only
remarkably.
thing. And so, um, what like Ella was explaining, what we have is something amazing for agents it's there to do is generate more instructions, more landlords, and increase your profit for the end of the year. Now, quite simply, it's a human operated, live chat advisor, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the best way I explained it was if you're in your office and every person walking by had a little Sims sign above their head,
Yeah.
and it said potential vendor.
Yeah.
You leave your office and you would walk up to them and say, "Oh, I think you're thinking of moving."
Yeah.
Start a conversation, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
And so, what our live chat does, it knows when somebody's visiting your website. So it can greet these people, it can greet your potential landlord and start a conversation.
Yeah,
Now,
I love that Sims analogy. I think that, by the way, that'd be a great product. Just a pair of glasses you
yeah,
could put
yeah,
on that then shows you how much money everybody's got and whether or not they're looking to spend it with you today would be superb.
yeah,
But absolutely, and I think I think the fact that it's human backed as well would give me so much more reassurance that it's being handled perhaps the way that I would want it handled. And at the end of the day, just as is artificial intelligence, human intelligence is still vastly underrated, but really important. I think the other thing that when Ella was talking about things like VCast and VConnect, VCast in particular, I think it's worth noting that there is a lot of white noise in communication these days. So, for argument's sake, if you want something to remain a secret, send it out on email because very few people are opening that and interacting with it. But if you want a really good open rate, then get it into regular messaging. So
Yeah.
whether that's SMS or WhatsApp or whatever method of messaging you're using, but if you can sort of broadcast message to your database, that's got a really good open rate, has an engagement rate. I mean, that's something that you guys know about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We actually track, obviously, we track all, open rates and response rates and everything like that. And we do a lot of case studies with businesses that use VCast and use VConnect. And I think, you're absolutely right, David. I think emails can be seen as quite a cold way of contact these days. You won't always get the best response from an email. So what we do is allow agencies to broadcast and personalize that message out to whoever their targeted data set is, via SMS or WhatsApp. And it's really nice and easy to use. They log into the visitor chat system, work closely with their account manager to do so. But the kind of average open rate is like 98%. So it's huge because people are always on their phones, aren't they?
Yeah,
Too
they
much.
are. Yeah.
So if you're getting a WhatsApp and SMS, and even if someone's kind of just thinking about, me and my other half are thinking about selling our house at the minute, and if I was to get a WhatsApp or an SMS from someone that's like thinking of selling your property, it almost like prompts you to reach out further and just understand a little bit more and kind of start that journey. So yeah, you're always going to get a much better conversion rate. And I think where VConnect really complements VCast is great sending out a message, but then what we would do is follow up with a call. So send out the WhatsApp, send out an SMS, but also follow up with a call to see, are these people interested in selling their property? Is it a new potential landlord? Has anyone got any new, properties to rent? Whatever the scenario is, the best conversion rate and I guess the best journey that you'll have is by ticking all the boxes, proactively reaching out, following up with a call, and then allowing them to engage with the business as well.
And conversions on sort of what we call traditional prospecting, and that means people picking up the phone and sort of
Mhm.
saying, "Hey Billy, we last viewed a property together 3 years ago. We've not been in touch, but how you doing? And would you think? Are you thinking about moving? Do you have anybody that's thinking about moving?" It's a hard slog, first of all. It's a hard job to do,
Mm.
which is why we as estate agents are notoriously bad at doing it. We will leave it to the very last thing on our to-do list. We'll do everything else first, and then you'll make those outbound calls. But also conversion rates of those kind of conversations. Sometimes it's just about keeping a conversation going for long enough until that person moves into that frame where they are thinking about moving, because it will eventually happen. It's only a matter of time. So in the meantime, your job is to keep in touch. But you guys have got really good conversion rates with that because I mean, you've provided me with a little snapshot of it, that you're converting on average about between 10 and 14% of a data set into actionable leads for the business. That's actually pretty good going. I'd take that. If I made 10 calls and I was getting one instruction out of it or
That's it.
1.4 instructions out of it, I'd love that, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, you're absolutely right, David. I think, again, going back to campaigns that we run with clients often, and a lot of our clients have ongoing campaigns where they just drip feed us, lost valuation leads, and it's almost like just a forever ongoing campaign. But yeah, we typically convert at around 10 to 14%. So, if someone's going to provide us with a data set of 1,000 leads, we'd be looking to at a minimum convert 100 appointments back into the business for them to follow up on. So it becomes kind of a no-brainer to kind of outsource that. But going back to the start of what I said, it's like the team that we have in place that do this role, it's not just like your odd contact center, it's people that would be hired, and most of them have industry experience of people that would be hired within a Savills or a Connells. So they actually have to have really good conversations with the customers to almost like sell them into the reason as to why they need to
Yeah.
think about selling their property. It's a great market at the minute for them. So why
I'll
not?
let you in on a secret. They've got to be nice people, or at least be really
Yeah,
good at
yeah,
pretending to be nice people, because that's also important, isn't it? Now, I don't. I think all our businesses are built on trust at the end of the day, and we all talk about this kind of like, know, and trust pyramid that we all try and put together. But it's important that those conversations that we're having don't feel like we're just trying to sell to you,
yeah.
but that we're here, we're helpful, we are kind, we're caring, and we actually do care about the moves that you make. And actually, with the best estate agents that we speak to, that invariably is, as Billy is about to tell us, is often the case, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, communication, customer service is a huge, huge part in why somebody uses you as an agent. There are a lot of agents to choose from. So what are your USPs? What makes you different from one agent to the other agent? Someone might offer a really low fee, but are they going to get you the best possible price? I mean,
Yeah,
what does sellers normally want? They want the best possible price and sold in the quickest amount of time.
yeah,
Yeah. If we've got a tool that agents can use that is going to get those sellers what they want, then 100% it's beneficial not only for them for winning instructions, but also for increasing their profit margins. As you know, David, the longer it takes to sell a property, the smaller your margins get until you're almost working for the seller
yeah. Very
at a
true.
loss. And so by integrating, visitor chat on your website, you can engage with any potential sellers and landlords and clients. And don't forget, those clients, they're going to want to sell again in 2, 4 years' time. If you can treat them really well, you're going to continue the longevity. It's not just for one transaction. And if you're capturing the new instructions, once you've prepped it, list it, you then use vcast and you send a text message out to your CRM or all the clients looking in that region. You are then immediately getting that data out to people and you are immediately engaging with potential viewers. Why wait 3 weeks or why wait 5 days when you've got a minute to phone your clients?
Yeah,
Get it out there, start engaging with them like straight away. And then especially if it's agents and they're on with if got properties on with two people, it's a repossession. Again, it's all about speed and getting the viewer to view that property so you've got the introduction. Now again, vcast, phew, out you go. You're speaking to clients before your other agent's even woken up. And then vconnect, like Ella touched on before, it's all about generating leads. Like I never had any time and I would work 12, 13, 14 hours a day, I reckon.
yeah,
And that'd be 6 days a week. And you're right. The last thing you do is follow up on old leads, follow up on old mortgage appointments. You know, one
yeah,
of the one of the biggest earners in estate agency is missed financial service appointments. Now, again, your agent's busy, your financial advisor's busy. How do you monitor those follow-ups? with VConnect, we can be that that bridge so that you can worry about the front end, we'll deal with the back end, and they can benefit from the profit at the end.
Superb. So we don't get accused of being dinosaurs talking about how AI isn't going to come into the conversation. I'm very happy to say that your approach to AI is quite unique, that you're using it almost in a hybrid approach. Can you sort of give us a bit more info and background around that?
Yeah, yeah. So you're right, David. Our approach is always, as I said, a human-led experience. We think that that is, you know, if someone's buying a property, they're selling a home, it's you know, it's a really important conversation. It needs to be dealt with empathy and with care. So speaking to a real person is always going to be the best experience for them, and also contributes towards that kind of brand appropriate customer experience on the agency's end as well, right? But AI is a fantastic tool. You know, we widely adopt it across our business, and you know, we use it for what it's really good at, because I think it's best when it's used in the correct way. So although we've got a real person managing the chat 24/7, they are supported by AI assist in the background. Now all of our agencies, they have a bespoke knowledge base that sits on the back of the account. And what the AI will do is provide, you know, source the information and provide it at the hands of the operator. So if you get a customer that comes onto the website and they're asking really specific questions, our AI will source that information using the bespoke knowledge base, provide it to the hands of the operator. They'll always filter it to make sure that it's relevant, it makes
Yeah.
sense, and it's not just an AI spitting information back at a customer. And they provide that back to the customer. So you always get the best of both worlds. You've always got that real conversation with a person, but you can also, you know, like Billy said earlier, it's speed to lead, isn't it? So, you know, in property, the first agent that responds often books a view and wins a valuation and secures a landlord. So whilst making our team more efficient, we used AI in kind of what it's best at.
I think that's so true in terms of the speed of response, and also, and it's something that's a theme throughout our conversation today, but the speed of response and also dealing with an inquiry at the time that it's raised has more chance of it actually converting. So for argument's sake, a very common agency experience is if we don't have anything dealing with out of hours stuff and somebody, requests to view a property at say 10 o'clock at night, we will then come back into the office at 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll then phone that inquiry, not be able to reach them. You'll phone them again, not be able to reach them. You may send them a message, and you might then turn around and go, "Oh, that's a waste of time." But the truth is, it's not a waste of time. These people work, and so their attention is elsewhere during working hours. And so, if they want to raise an inquiry about property at 10 o'clock at night, in much the same way, if I want to do online shopping at 10 o'clock at night because it's convenient to me, we should be able to enable that and to offer them. And I think that translates through to just a better quality of customer service and customer experience that we are now giving
Yeah,
people. But the proof is very much in the pudding, which is the conversion rates that you guys are getting. So you're lovely, knowledgeable people, very easy to deal with. How easy is it to set up, and what does onboarding look like for an agent? So you mentioned that knowledge bank. Presumably, there's a process involved of getting to know the agent, their ethos, and all the stuff that goes in there. So, where do we start?
sure. Yeah, it's really, really easy to set up. You know, we handle pretty much everything from day one. Once we've kind of agreed a package and what the, it's really important that we align our goals with the agents from the very start to ensure that they achieve exactly what they want to achieve from a messaging partner. Businesses are very different. Some people, it's like, right, we want a really, brand appropriate customer experience. We don't care about leads. And other people, it's like, all we want to do is drive leads into business. So it's really important that we align with what they're trying to achieve from the start. But it can really vary. I think if you're, if we're speaking to an independent estate agent or someone that's got maybe 2 or 3 offices, we can set them up in sort of 3 to 5 business days. Whereas if we're looking at someone that's got 50 plus branches, then you're going to be looking at a bit longer, sort of 10 to 14 business days. But One of our biggest USPs is that all of our clients have a dedicated account manager. So again, we'll introduce them at the very start. They handle all integration with third parties, whether it's the website provider, CRM provider, whoever that might be. Meta, because we integrate with the likes of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, etc. But they'll make sure that the process is seamless. So there's very, very little work required on the agent's end to get it live. So yeah, it depends on the level of integration required, but it's really, really easy and nice and smooth to set up.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, anybody that's watching this that is looking to get started, I presume it will begin with a bit of a conversation, much like we're having today, to get to know the businesses and take it from there. But you're in good hands, and I think yeah, as Billy's already demonstrated, you're not just in the chat business, but you've actually been estate agents as well, so you know what you're dealing with, and I think that would give me an immense amount of comfort when trusting you with my primary lead source, which is going to be those inquiries that are coming in. And you are, I think it's worth sort of giving a little bit of background. You are tried and tested. This isn't just
Oh yeah.
something you've decided to do today.
No, no.
Visitor chat has already been honed quite well in other industries, but it and is being really focused on property here. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to expand on there.
Yeah, no, like, as you said to you at the start, David, we've been in the business for 10 years now. You're absolutely right. It's not something that it is fully tried and tested, and, we're experts in what we do, and we always, take on board a lot of feedback from clients. We're always evolving the system and, trying to ensure that customers, clients do get exactly what they want to achieve with a messaging partner. It is a partnership. We have very good relationships with our partners, and we want to ensure that they're getting the full integration, using Visitor Chat to its full capabilities, and achieving a good return of investment as well at the end of the day. So yeah.
Superb. Ella, Billy, thank you very much for joining me today.
No, great to
Thanks.
see you,
Thanks,
David. We'll catch
David.
up soon.